2017 brings major steps forward in readiness, innovation, and speed to the fleet across the command. Hi, I'm Michael Lauren Prue, and welcome to this year in review edition of Airwaves. We begin with the completion of a first-of-its-kind takeoff and recovery of an FA-18E Super Hornet. Crews use the electromagnetic aircraft launch system, otherwise known as EMALS, at Lakehurst, New Jersey, and on the newly commissioned USS Gerald R. Ford. They also put the advanced arresting gear, the AAG, to the test. The introduction of the systems marks two milestones for the fleet. First, they were the ship's first at-sea fixed-wing flight operations. This was also the first ever flight deck catapult launch and arrested landings. Test pilots landed on board the Ford with the help of Magic Carpet, the system that helps automate the F-18's landing process on carriers. The system increases accuracy, and pilots only have to make small adjustments on the approach while landing. Responding to fleet demand, the NOC-AD Magic Carpet team delivered this critical capability 3 years early. Pilots are now using the system aboard the carriers in deployment settings during combat operations.
The feedback we've gotten is overwhelmingly positive at this point, so some very, very challenging conditions on both the Atlantic and Pacific, where they've had the opportunity to use Magic Carpet, and it has increased performance and boarding rate and all that stuff. We're tracking those numbers, and it is startling how much better it is.
2017 also saw renewed efforts to resolve what's being called a major challenge to readiness. We're talking about physiological episodes aboard Navy aircraft. During a physiological episode, a pilot may experience confusion, dizziness, or even loss of consciousness due to hypoxia or the lack of an adequate supply of oxygen. While the exact cause remains unclear, one of the mitigation strategies for the T-45 aircraft was to upgrade the OBOGs, onboard oxygen generating systems, to counter the problem. They've installed the systems on board several planes, and they're showing promise. The Navy stood up a physiological event rapid response team, which includes Naval Air personnel, to react quickly to an episode if and when it occurs. We also saw several milestones for the F-35 program this year. The Fleet Readiness Center East received its first F-35A Lightning II for maintenance in August. The aircraft is one of the ones needed to achieve initial operational capability, which will happen once the branch is equipped and trained to fly 10 of the aircraft. Meanwhile, F-35B Lightning crews showed off with a series of launches from a ski jump ramp at Pax River. The demonstration was part of Phase 2 testing with a heavy external weapons load in August. The crews with the Strike Fighter Squadron 101 started carrier quals with the F-35C aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln in September. It's one of the first ships to accommodate traps and launches of the aircraft. In California, the Navy is testing out its new long-range anti-ship missile, or LRASM for short. In December, crews completed another test flight from an Air Force B-1B Lancer at Point Mugu. During the test, they successfully launched 2 missiles against multiple moving maritime targets for the first time. When everything is up and running, LRASM will provide flexible, long-range anti-surface capability against high-threat targets at sea. Operational capability for the system is expected in 2018. Now to the newest chapter for the Navy's latest workhorse, the P-8A Poseidon. The aircraft is adapted from the commercial 737. The Navy also added hardpoint weapons capability along with the latest sensor technology for the maritime environment, air-to-air refueling capability, and the ability for additional all-weather capability. As for the missions, the possibilities are endless.
Search and rescue, Hatter missions, surface warfare, anti-submarine warfare. It's a really diverse platform that can get airborne and ultimately, complete any mission that it's asked to do.
P-8s were airborne following the devastating hurricanes in Texas and Puerto Rico, keeping a watchful eye on the humanitarian relief effort. Leaders hope to fly the P-8 Alpha for a long time to come. Another innovation in flight is coming to the Navy with the help of Airworks and the Naval Test Pilot School at Pax River. Engineers from Israeli-based Albit Systems are working on A-STARS 3 inside a hangar in San Antonio, Texas. The rebuilt and modified C-26 plane will become a flying classroom to take countless naval aviators into the skies.
This is a hand-built, one-off, specialized airplane, and so it is, it's a piece of artwork.
A-STARS 3 is one of many projects NOC-AD Airworks recently added to its repertoire. Airworks brings innovation to the fleet using new technologies and teamwork, working hand in hand with partner commands and companies, all with speed and cost efficiency in mind. We'll see much more of Airworks projects in the years to come. Naval also made historic steps toward the production of 2 CH-53K King Stallions. A new contract awarded to Sikorsky includes funds toward the manufacture of 2 of the helicopters, along with logistics support and equipment needed to fly them. The contract brings the Navy closer to bringing the aircraft to the warfighter. In the 7th Fleet, big changes for families serving with the carrier Air Wing 5. The Navy is in the process of moving them from Itsuki to Iwakuni, Japan. It's all part of the plan to move the FA-18 planned maintenance interval line there. The first PMI aircraft arrived in September to a new 116,000 square foot hangar built to accommodate Navy and Marine Corps forward deployed aircraft in need of repair. Fleet Readiness Center Westpac leadership hopes the location of the new facility will shorten the turnaround time and result in more up aircraft for the fleet.
It's important to keep the maintenance local because since this is where the warfighter is, we can respond to their needs faster. The faster we can respond to their needs, the faster we can get them back in the fight. So less down aircraft increases our readiness, and makes us more prepared for any issues or requirements that happen in theater at a moment's notice.
FRC Westpac will continue to transfer aircraft and personnel to Iwakuni over the next couple of years. From advancements in the skies to innovation in the program offices throughout the commands, FRC Southwest became the first in the fleet to develop the cold spray process for military equipment repairs. Cold spray is a process that sprays tiny metal particles onto a metal surface. The particles travel so fast they bond through kinetic energy. There's no melting. It builds up materials and adds features to parts. The process has saved the Navy more than 160 valuable parts and $7 million in cost. Crews at FRC Southwest are looking at whether they can use it for aircraft maintenance. At this year's Innovation Challenge, we saw teams across the command put their minds to work to solve issues facing the fleet. 6 teams from NOC-AD and NOC-WD were chosen as finalists in this year's Innovation Challenge. Among their innovations, landing gear that promises a smoother landing for pilots, an advanced form of radar to detect unmanned systems, and a different kind of powder to use in 3D printing. Some of the teams will seek patents for their work, others will partner with departments across the command to turn their prototypes into working solutions for the fleet. The NOCs weren't the only ones in the innovation game. FRC East used Spark to launch its own innovation challenge, inspiring teams to create ideas for improving production at the depot. The Jacksonville Analysis Group, known as Team JAG, proved that second time's the charm for winning the 2nd annual NavAir Data Challenge. The FRC Southeast team picked up the top prize by expanding and improving upon the command's existing system tool to provide the parts needed to keep aircraft flying and to see where those parts fit into the supply chain. Deputy Commander Gary Newton says the Data Challenge is a vital tool as the Navy moves forward.
About 2 years ago, we knew that we needed to really modernize the way we were doing our work inside of NavAir. And data analytics is one of the big areas that's really starting to grow because of technology that's become available to do high-powered computing. And so we thought this would be a good way to energize our workforce.
If you're looking for a challenge, visit the NavAir website to learn more about the exciting workforce opportunities available. Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division made the headlines in January when a CBS News crew visited to check out work underway at MIT's Lincoln Lab. The crew looked at the work the folks at the lab are doing with NOC-WD testing unmanned aerial vehicles, known as PERDIX. It was the first of its kind event that dispensed more than 100 PERDIX micro UAVs from the FA-18Fs. Finally, a first-of-its-kind award for a Naval Systems Command engineer at Lakehurst. In February, the Pentagon recognized Dr. James Hing as the Department of Defense's Laboratory Scientist of the Quarter. Hing won the award for his research in using robotics to optimize workload and increase safety for sailors on the flight deck. He is the first NOC-AD employee to receive such honors. You can learn more about our stories by visiting our website at www.navair.navy.mil/news. And that does it for this Year in Review edition of Airwaves. See you on the flight line.